I'm exposed to a situation that I don't like, and when I get really upset and I say, this is what I want and this is what I don't want, and when I go to step 2 and 3 and I get really good at step 3, and when I go to step 5, where I basically go back into that situation, I've said, I don't want that, but now I can really enjoy that contrast, I can live it, and that is a really safe place for me, because now I'm aligned.
That is basically what we said, but there are a couple of distinctions that we would like to clarify. We don't want you to go to a safe place. We want you to feel safe in all places.
Okay. Wow.
We don't want you to go to a happy place. We want you to feel happy in all places. But you have to get the hang of it first. Don't test it. Don't go someplace where you're really afraid and try not to be scared. Somebody's going to hit you. You see what we're getting at? The idea is for more of you to be present. And by the more of you, we mean your broader vantage point. One day, shortly after Jerry and Esther moved to Texas, a rainstorm came. And Jerry and Esther were going into the little town near them where their post office box was to pick up their mail. And the Cibolo Creek had overfilled its banks, and the post office had sandbags all around it, and you couldn't get in. And so Jerry said, our friends, Pat and Lawrence, who live in San Antonio, which is downstream from where Jerry and Esther were, they have a 1,000-acre ranch, and Cibolo Creek goes right through their land, through their pastures, where their cattle are and their equipment is. Better call them and tell them what's going on up here. So Esther called Pat and said, the Cibolo's out of its banks and we can't get to the post office, just thought you'd want to know. She said, thanks. So the next day, or later that day, she called back and she said, that was so helpful. She said, we moved the cattle to another pasture and moved the tractor that was in that pasture, and the Cibolo flooded, and it flooded that field, and all is well. And then she said, it's so nice to have a friend upstream. And that's the way we want you to feel about your inner being. You've got a friend upstream with broader viewpoint. You have a co-creative partner who has been aware of everything that you've lobbed into your vortex and everything that has happened in the evolution of it since. So your inner being understands what you've created. And here's the part we really want you to hear. Your inner being understands who you have become as a result of what you've been living. Your inner being stands there as the vibrational equivalent of who your life has caused you to be. And you've got to move in the direction of what your life has caused you to be to feel satisfied. And if you're not moving toward what your life has caused you to be, you're not going to feel satisfied. It really is. We've said that hundreds of times, even in these hours that we've been together. And you're beginning to really hear what we're getting at. Let's say that you travel to a place where you don't feel safe. Well, what is it that you ask for? You want to feel safe. Are you asking for this place to be safe, or are you asking to feel safe? If you're asking to feel safe, that is easily accomplished, because you can't control what everybody else is doing, but you certainly can control how you zig and zag within it, which means you can control your point of attraction, which means you must control the way you feel. And so when you get good at controlling the way you feel because you have mastered the art of focus and feeling, focus deliberately and then feel what it feels like, and focus deliberately and feel what it feels like, and then tune your thoughts out altogether, quiet your mind completely and feel what that feels like, until you have firsthand knowledge, not something that somebody else has tried to convey to you, but firsthand knowledge of what it feels like to be in the receiving mode, and then you get to live the evidence of it. We were telling a story for a while, you may have heard it, we're going to tell it anyway, of Esther meditating every day, finding the satisfaction in that feeling place, coming out of meditation, feeling satisfaction with an impulse to do something, an impulse that really was not logical in light of the things that she'd planned to do that day. So she comes out of a meditation with an impulse to play with her music system that she'd never really understood in her house. Been there for many years, never really understood it. And so she's just messing around with it, and she discovers things about it that just made her feel so much more satisfaction. She could control what played in every room. She could control what zone it played in. It was really a good system that she had never understood. And so she had never experience the full value of it. And as she's exploring, she's going through all of the menus of all of the music that is available to her, and she's got all the zones set up, the gardens, the courtyards, this room, that room, upstairs, downstairs, everything. All of the zones are open, and she finds rap. And she turns it up. And she likes what she hears. She likes the message. She likes the movement of it. She can feel herself moving with it. She's having such a good time. She stayed on that station for a long time, and then she went on with her day. So the next day, she sits to meditate, as she does most every day. She intends to do it every day. Most every day she does. So she sat to meditate, and when she came out of meditation, because she's in the receiving mode, she comes out of meditation, she has this powerful impulse to move the furniture in her house around, which is illogical because the furniture in her house has been specifically purchased for every place that it is. So it's all perfect furniture in perfect places. But right now, it all needs to be moved. All of it needs to be moved. The impulse is so strong, so exciting. The idea of moving all of the furniture around, illogical as it may seem, seemed like the best thought that she had ever had. And she didn't stop to think, oh, that must have been a receiving mode thought. She just thought, ooh, I really want to do this. So then she got online to find someone that could help her move the furniture around. 2 men in a truck. Don't need the truck, she tells them, but I need 2 men. Need 2 men. Not going to move it anywhere, just moving it around. Can you send some men over to move some stuff around? So they can come that day. They come right away. And so they're moving stuff around. It's so satisfying. Over there, over there, over there, over there. Upstairs, downstairs. Let's move that over there, over there. This rug should be in that room. That rug should be in this room. Really, they moved everything around. And then Esther said, let's put it back. Because mostly it was better the way it was before, but it was so fun moving it around. It was just so fun moving it around, and so fun to get to know these young men. They were so delightful. They liked Esther. Esther liked them. They're talking about how wonderful everything is. All of them are feeling satisfaction. They've had a really good time together. And Esther is talking about this beautiful day, and one of the young men says, oh, it is beautiful here, but I'm leaving. And Esther said, why? Why would you leave? He said, I'm moving to Alabama. Why would you go to Alabama instead of being here in Del Mar? Why would you leave? And he says, because I am a rapper. And I have things going on in Alabama and I'm not really getting things going here. And Esther said, hang on for a minute. So she went to her music system and pushed all the buttons for all of the zones and found the channel and pushed the button. And all of a sudden, in very loud, so that all of the world can hear, is rap, really good rap, really good rap. And Esther goes back out. She was so satisfied. She's looking at them. She's got moves. She was feeling so good. She's looking at them. They're looking at her. And they say, who are you? Who are you? Esther said, I'm a teacher. What do you teach? Rap. What we're getting at is, here's this really wonderful person who wants to be a rapper, who wants to be in Southern California, but believes the flawed premise that he has to go someplace else. He has to give up this to have this, and is torn about it. Well, don't you think it's logical that Esther would be inspired to rendezvous with him? She gave him some books and some CDs and some wonderful conversation. He now knows that he can have it all. He now knows that he can stay right where he wants to be and that what he wants will come to him. And so it's an obvious story, we know.
I believe it's not a coincidence that you tell me that story, because just about a week and a half ago, after listening to some of the audios on YouTube, I said, universe, just offer anything. And so a headhunter contacted me and offered me a job on the other side of this planet in China. And maybe it's not a safe job, and maybe it's not even a safe country, and with all these kind of things, with pollution and so on. But
maybe you think you cut the trees down and you didn't too.
Well, maybe, but I felt an excitement that I haven't felt in a very long time.
And so what do?
And so now you tell me the story, and you're telling me basically, well, you can find excitement here too. You don't have to move to China to do it.
There's a lot of things in that story. You can have it all anywhere you are. Mm-hmm. If that excited you,
yes,
if that feeling of excitement is there, then why not follow it? And this is the thing that we want you to practice in whatever way you can. Mm-hmm. Let the feeling of satisfaction come and then follow it. Follow it where it leads. And it will just get more satisfying and more satisfying and more satisfying and more satisfying and more satisfying.
Cool.
Life is supposed to feel good to you.
Yeah.
Life is supposed to be fun for you. You are the creator of your own reality. You are a creator, and you will not ever be satisfied unless you are creating. You are supposed to get what you want. You are supposed to get what life has shown you that you want. No one is holding you back from anything. You are the only one who holds you back. You are the only one that spews the red foggy mist out there into your future. It's all up to you. And now you understand pretty much how this all works, don't you? And so, do you work to get satisfied? No. You just watch for it, and when you are, you acknowledge it, and that increases the odds of being satisfied more. So here's the statement that we offered to someone earlier, and most of you didn't really get what we meant by it, and we're going to offer it again. What your work is to try to feel as good as you can wherever you are. And what that will accomplish is a proclivity, a tendency, a better chance of. You'll be more likely to feel that way more and more and more and more. So you don't wait for a situation that you try to overcome. You practice smoothing it out when it's easy until you have a proclivity of expecting good things to come to you. And once you've really accomplished that, once you know that you are the center of the universe and that your inner being has your back and your front and your gizzard and your middle and your insides and your top and your bottom, your inner being knows everything about you and everything that you want and knows where you stand in relationship to everything that you want and is offering continual guidance, a continual stream of information that you have some sort of relationship to. And the happier you get, the more satisfied you are, the more in sync you are, the more you get those impulses, and the more you receive the advantage of that friend upstream, the more you receive the advantage of that higher point of view. We are not for a moment implying that you can't bang it out with action and get some stuff done. We're not for a moment trying to guide you away from one tangible thing, because you are creators who came here to create. You came into this environment because, let's really talk about this, turning thoughts to things, turning thoughts to manifestation. You came here because what's manifested, this is a manifested moment. Now. Every moment, now, another manifested moment. And in this manifested moment, there is plenty to observe, to see and taste and smell and hear and experience fully. In other words, it's supposed to be tangible for you. It's supposed to be as good as it can be. And what's better? In other words, it's nice to think about love, but isn't it nice to have an object of attention to which you can flow your love? And isn't it even better to touch that person that you are loving? Isn't it even better to hear that person and smell that person and taste that person? Manifestations are delicious, and you are supposed to have these manifestations. We're not talking you out of action. We're just wanting to talk you into inspired action. We're not wanting to talk you out of anything. We're just wanting to talk you in to the things that you've already identified that are important to you. We're just asking you to stand in that flexible place where life can continue to yield to you your next creation, which means contrast is necessary to the next creation. So when you are in that step 5 place where you are feeling satisfied because crap keeps coming to you, because stuff keeps getting jacked up, because things keep getting broken and people misunderstand and some things don't go smooth. When you reach that place where that stuff happens and you take the hit of it, in other words, nobody's asking you to like something that is unlikable. Nobody's asking you to say, yay, this terrible thing is happening to me or someone else, or this disappointing thing. We're not asking you to fake it and be delighted rather than disappointed. Take the hit. Because with it came a launching of more clarity that as soon as you can, you want to get back to.
Fantastic.
It is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
It's what you are all about.